Hello friends, this is Chef Kayzad and today we'll be doing a wonderful, slightly lengthy recipe for a pulao. Yes, a pulao with meat, lovely long grain rice, nuts and all the spices. So let's start with keema and dry fruit pulao. I'm going to take some oil in a pan and we'll start browning our onions for the keema. Some whole garam masala, some green cardamom, some cloves, lovely piece of fragrant cinnamon, and we'll brown all of that. And some whole cumin seeds, about half a teaspoon. We just let our masalas crackle and then we'll add in our onions. We'll brown our onions really well. So our onions are now perfectly golden brown. We shall add the other spices. Some ginger garlic paste. Some red chilli powder. Cumin powder. Coriander powder. And turmeric. And we'll just let this saute on a nice low flame for about 2 minutes. Now we have a lovely flavor base ready. We shall add the keema. And like always, we're going to brown it on a nice high flame so it gets well seared. This will take about 3 to 4 minutes. Now our meat is beautifully brown. We shall add in some water and let it cook on a nice slow simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, let's start cooking our rice. I have some water that's coming to a boil over here. I'm going to add some whole garam masala, some bay leaf, some mace, a couple of cloves, some green cardamom, a stick of cinnamon, some salt. Now our water has come to a boil. We shall add in the rice. Make sure that the water is boiling vigorously before you add in the rice so that you don't have rice just swimming in cold water. You want the water to come back to a boil as soon as the rice is inside again. Now our rice is half cooked. I'm going to take it out and drain the water. Now in our hot rice, we're going to add a few strands of saffron and a little bit of ghee. The rice will develop a beautiful aroma because of the saffron and the ghee, and that's what we want. We'll just keep that aside for the time being and get back to our mince, which has been cooking for about 20-25 minutes now. Now we're going to season our mince with a little bit of salt and we're going to add in some chopped tomatoes. The reason I did not add chopped tomatoes earlier is that the acidity in the tomatoes doesn't really help the meat to cook very well. We want the mince to be about 75% cooked, the same as our rice. So when we combine them both in the pulao, they finish cooking at the same time. Now we shall start assembling our pulao. The mince goes at the bottom of the dish. I'm just going to reduce the moisture in the mince before we add in the rice. Now my lamb has the perfect amount of moisture. I want a nice moist pulao with a lot of flavor of the lamb. So make sure that you don't dry all the water away from the lamb wings. Now we shall add the rice on top. We'll add some chopped coriander, some brown onions, and the remaining ghee we're just going to use to brown our nuts and put it on top of the pulao. Here again I'm using some whole almonds. You can chop them up if you like. Pistachios, some cashew nuts. You can choose to put them directly in the pulao, but I find that the browning gives the nuts a lovely roasted flavor. Now that our nuts are starting to brown, we'll just add in the raisins. The raisins and the nuts just give the pulao a slight sweetish tinge because our keema is fairly spicy. So it's a lovely combination of sweet and spicy flavors. Now it all goes on top of the pulao. Now we can just cover it and let it simmer for about 15 minutes so the flavors have time to combine and the mutton mince and the rice are perfectly cooked. So our pulao is done now. We're just going to let it rest for about 10 minutes before we open the lid. That's because all the aromas will escape if you open the lid right now. Beautiful aroma. Now without further ado, let's plate it up. Make sure you get an even portion of the rice and the lovely keema below. Another thing that I love about this pulao is the absolute riot of colors and textures in this one. I'm just going to garnish it with a little bit of coriander and some crispy fried brown onions, which will also add a lovely crunch when we're eating the pulao. Our keema and nuts pulao is ready. Let us know how you like the recipe. Please share it with family and friends and subscribe to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana.
For more such delicious recipes, stay tuned to Sanjeev Kapoor Khazana.